Okay, so here two things we need to focus here. Number one is let me name the drawing. Okay, so number one is carrier generation. Carrier generation. Okay, this carrier generation will happen through the incident light. Okay, let me write it here. This happens through the incident light. This is number one. Number two is the thing about the carrier transport or carrier multiplication, what we say. So, let us say carrier transport. Now, see this mechanism here. So, here we already discussed about this carrier. When we say carrier transport, the electrons or holes, okay, electrons or holes are sent to the corresponding n side or p side by the strong electric field. So, this is due to the electric field. So, this we have seen in the last class also. This is due to the electric field. Okay. So, you understand these two category here. So, you can see now the first diagram here. As I told you here, we need to segment this entire surface, p-n junction surface into three segments. This is one segment is the depletion region. Let us call this as, give the number to this. This is number 1. The second segment is neutral n region. This is segment 2, and the third one is the neutral p region, segment 3. All total together, the electron hole pairs generated in each of these sections contribute to the current flow, total current. Okay, now you can see here, as we said, told already, carrier generation will happen through the incident light. When we make the uniform light to fall on this surface. Okay, so there is a uniform photons falling on this the junction surface, as you are seeing here. And here in the category 1, what we are analyzing is only this depletion region, that is segment 1. Now, you can see that this forms electron hole pairs in this depletion region, and now this electric field is responsible for the transport, carrier transport here. The field is responsible for carrier transport, and for carrier generation incident light is responsible here. Okay. So, this incident light, whatever it is falling on this junction area, that creates this electron hole pair, and now this field is so strong here in this depletion region, that makes holes to move. It pushes the holes, or it drifts the holes into the p region and electrons into the n region. This is what carrier transport, which happens basically due to the electric field here. Okay, this is with reference to the depletion region. And second part discuss about in the neutral n region. In neutral n region also, you need not consider the entire the neutral n region material. Only we need to consider up to this the LP. LP we already defined, it is diffusion length for holes. Now, within this distance, we already defined what do we mean by LP. Okay, so average distance a hole can travel before it get recombined with the electron here, that is LP. Now, within this short distance LP, again carrier generation will happen through the incident light, which is falling on this. Okay, this carrier generation electron hole pairs. Now, carrier transport will happen here under two different mechanisms here. One is from here to the near to the depletion region, movement should happen through the diffusion only here. Okay. So, that means the charge carriers here will, because of due to the concentration gradient change. So, these charges formed due to the incident light will get diffused towards junction here. Whenever the charges comes near to this, okay, both electron and hole, it is the electrons are pushed into the n region and holes are pushed into the p plus region here. So, this within this region the drift process will take care, but outside this the depletion region diffusion process will take care. Okay. So, those things we need to be aware here. So, these charge carriers are generated due to the thermal because of the incident light. So, this minority carriers here what you are saying here. So, because of incident the photonic light, this charge carriers are generated, and movement will happen due to the diffusion and drift process. Diffusion is applicable only in the neutral N region and neutral P region, but drift is applicable only in the depletion region. Similar thing will happen even in neutral P region also. Okay, so these carriers generated due to the incident light in the neutral P region here within this diffusion length. Ln is nothing but an average distance electron can travel before it recombine with the holes. So, within this Ln, the charge carriers that are formed here are generated here. Okay. So, due to the diffusion process that may enter into this depletion region, from here onwards the field will take care. It is a drift which makes the charge carriers electrons particularly to push into the N region, and holes get pushed into the P region here. This is what it happens in all three segments here, and here the energy of photons should be applied such that it should be greater than the band gap energy Eg. So, this adds the generation rate which is GOP. So, that is nothing but the how many EHP electron hole pairs are generated per cubic centimeter per second. This is the unit for GOP. Okay. So, GOP is nothing but optical generation rate, or simply we can say it is generation rate. So, it is EHP per cubic centimeter per second. So, within this time within this volume in a second, how many electron hole pairs are generated, that is what this GOP tells us. Okay. So, now all these three segments what we have discussed, that can be simplified with this mathematical formula. So, which is given by A times LP times GOP, A times Ln times GOP, and A times W times GOP. This is with reference to N side, P side. Okay. Holes created on N side in second within this LP. This is electron created on P side. Okay. Electrons created within, this is the formula for that, and carriers which are generated within the depletion region is this, and this results in a total current. As we said already, this is optical current given by this equation, which is sum of all these three formulas now. So, ITH here is nothing but a thermally generated current. Many times we call this as reverse saturation current, I naught here. Okay. So, both are same, or sometimes we call this as saturation current also. So, now total reverse current due to the elimination now can be written by considering this optically generated current or optical current, and also the diode current here. So, the total reverse current is now is given by this mathematical equation, which is I is equal to ITH times e to the power of QV by KT minus 1 minus IOP, optical current here. So, here the sign is positive negative because of this reason, because this diode current flows from P to N. This is the observation you need to make. Optical current flows, this is due to the reverse bias, it flows from N to P. This is due to the elimination of light on the diode surface here. Now, you can substitute this equation, where this ITH we already know from the first chapter of module 1. So, that can be substituted here. So, I is equal to, now the same equation is equal to Q times A. So, Q can be taken out here in this, and LP by tau P. Try to understand each of these parameters. LP we already defined, diffusion length for holes, and tau P is nothing but lifetime of holes. Okay. What do we mean by lifetime? Lifetime of holes, tau P. Any, even there is a birth and death for even the charge carriers, right? What do you mean by lifetime? See, like human beings, we have birth and death. Likewise, even for the charges also there is something called as a lifetime. So, this is called as a life time. Okay. That means, it is a recombination rate. The moment the charge carriers are generated, it will it will recombine soon with the opposite kind of charges. Suppose if holes are, in this case, lifetime of holes has to recombine with the electron here, that empty position will die. Okay. So, that is called the lifetime. So, tau P represents the lifetime for the holes. That means, how much time hole will take to get recombined with the electron here, that is the meaning of tau P. Similarly, for electrons we have tau N, this is lifetime for electrons here. So, both are lifetimes, but corresponding to the subscript, it is for hole, and here it is for electron here. So, what do you mean by Pn? This notation we have seen many times. Pn, this subscript, Pn here and Np here. And this term we are already familiar with. This is e to the power of q times V is applied voltage divided by KT, and here you must know, if you transfer kT by Q here, this Q what you are seeing here, the value must be known here. At room temperature 300 Kelvin, this value is going to be 25.9 millivolt. Okay, this value millivolt, that is the value of kT by Q. V is the applied voltage. V can be positive, V can be negative. So here Pn indicates the holes on n side, Np indicates electrons on the p side. So this is the charge carriers. So this gives you the minority charge carriers. Electrons on p side, they are the minority carrier, because this entire current is due to the minority carriers, because it is a reverse saturation current till here. Okay. So therefore this is reverse saturation current. Due to the reverse bias, therefore you have to use here Np and Pn here, and minus, this is minus is applicable for the entire term here. This is the entire term here. Within that we have this reverse saturation current, minus Qa GOP times Lp plus Ln plus W. So next you can see here, this is the total current as we have seen. This is already we explained here. Now we need to calculate. Let me show here. This is last we discussed about this. We need to calculate here what is called as open circuit and short circuits. Why we need to do that, we will explain that in a minute. So yeah, this is what the equation, rewritten equation. Don't worry, because there is so many times there is a duplication here. Okay, so but the basic equations are same, and you can see here the same equation what I showed you here. This reverse saturation current, it is in different form here. Are you seeing here? Same I naught here, which is in different form. Okay, don't worry about this. So this is in different form. Okay, you have to remember in both the forms here. I will show you shortly how we get to the other form here using this, but the basic equation is this. Okay, when you see in the chapter previous chapter of module 2, this is the equation. This is an modified equation for I naught here, even though this represents okay, so I naught, this is equal to I naught, reverse saturation current. Okay, but this is modified version. Okay, so let me say this is modified version of reverse saturation current. This is the basic version what you are seeing here. Okay, how to arrive at that modified version? Here we have done, you can see here, small change we have done here. Okay, so that is done by using this numerous formulas here. What formulas we will just illustrate here. Okay, look at this formula. So this is basic equation, you need to remember. This is the original reverse saturation current, what you see normally in diode equation. So this is again reverse saturation current. So there are different version here. So that's why students normally they confuse by seeing different equations here. If you remember this, then obtaining this is very easier. This current is very easy by remembering few equations. Okay, now this is I naught, reverse saturation current is Qa dP by Lp into Pn plus dN by Ln into Np, and you can see that each quantities dP is nothing but diffusion constant for holes, Pn is holes on n side, diffusion length for holes, dN is again diffusion length for electrons. This is diffusion constant for electrons, diffusion length for electron, and Np is electrons on the p side. So this we have seen this formulas. Pp can be written as Na, acceptor ion concentration, Pp holes on p side, electrons on n side can be written as Nd. Okay, see donor ion concentration. Okay, by using this the intrinsic concentration formula, we can write Np okay as Ni square by Na. This we have seen in chapter 1, Ni square by Na. Similarly, this Pn can be written as, if you can write Np as Ni square by Na, definitely Pn can be written as Ni square by Nd. So these are the alternative formulas here. Now you can substitute here in place of the Pn, this you are seeing here Pn. So that you can substitute here with this formula here, this is Pn, and Np here can be substituted with this is Np formula. So that can be substituted here. If you do that, you are going to get this equation. So the reverse saturation current I naught now is equal to Qa times dP by Lp You can see here dP by LP is kept as it is, but Pn is now is equal to Ni square by Nd. So, this is what substitution we have done here. So, here also you can see this is a substitution. You can show this outer bracket with square bracket. Now, Ni square can be taken out. So, therefore, you have in the first term is Qa Ni square, here Ni square has been taken out, and rest of the terms you can retain here dP by Lp times Nd plus dN divided by Ln times Na. Okay. So, there are few other relations which you need to remember here. What are those relations? Diffusion length can be expressed in terms of diffusion constant. Lp square is equal to dP times tau p, or dP can be written as Lp square by tau p. This is what you are seeing. Using this relation, we can also write Lp square as square root of Lp as square root of dP times tau p, and similar lines we can also write Ln as square root of dN times Ln, not Ln, it is tau n. Okay. So, this is called Einstein relation. If you observe, chapter 1, this relation is called Einstein relation. It relates diffusion constant to the mobility. Okay, that is called as kT by q. Okay. Okay. So, now we can substitute these relations here. Till this equation we are already aware. This first term we are not going to do any change. This is kept as it is. But look at second terms here. In place of dP, what we have is this relation you can substitute here. So, you can substitute here for dP. So, you get here Lp square by tau p, and Lp Nd is kept as it is in the denominator. Same thing we can do it for dN, Ln square by tau n, this is tau n, and Ln into Na is kept as it is, and this term will cancel with one of this square term here. Same thing happens here also, this denominator cancels here with one of this. This you can keep it as it is, and you can write Lp by tau p Nd plus Ln by tau n times Na. Understood this? This is nothing but reverse saturation current, alternative version of reverse saturation current. Okay. Now, we can also do this little manipulation for this equation. If you reconsider the same equation what you have seen here, and you can write this equation in alternative way, another way. Okay. So, Qa into dP by Lp into Pn plus dP by Ln into Np, and here you can substitute as dP as Lp square by tau p. If you do that, dP as Lp square by tau p is Lp cancels, and you are left out with Lp by tau p into Pn plus Ln by tau n into Np. So, this is the equation what you have seen earlier. Okay. So, look at this. I am sorry, this pen is going randomly. Okay. Okay. So, now we can see this equation what you have seen earlier, Lp by tau p into Pn. Okay, look at here, same equation. Okay. Now, this equation is required because now you can do little change into that. So, this is what once you have this equation, I can substitute into the I naught here. That is what we have done here. Now, you see this I naught is now this equation. In place of I naught, we have written here Qa times Lp by tau p into Pn plus Ln by tau n into Np times this exponential value minus this optical current IOP. Okay. In a simplified manner, we can write total current as this. Okay. Instead of writing too many things, this can be written as I naught, and this can be written as e power qv by kT minus 1 minus IOP. Now, let us see this the open circuit voltage and short circuit current. Now, question rises here, what is the necessity of open circuit voltage? Why do we need to calculate open circuit voltage? I told you the need for calculation of this open circuit voltage. Look at these characteristics. This is IV characteristics of an illuminated junction. Forward bias, see, we are not interested in forward bias because here the PN junction is like a passive device. Okay. So, because you give external voltage here, and corresponding to that current flows in an exponential manner. So, this is the applied voltage. So, here this curve now obeys this equation what we have showed here. What is that equation? This is diode current equation. Or if you look at this, okay, so this equation what you are seeing here, underlined equation. Okay, so this equation, so remember this equation is applicable both for forward bias and reverse bias. Don't think that diode current is, this equation is applicable only for forward bias. It is applicable for both forward and reverse bias. It all depends on what should be the value of V. V can be positive for forward bias, V will be negative for the reverse bias. And also we have seen approximations here. When V is positive, exponential term becomes very large, 1 can be neglected. This goes off for the forward bias. So, the net current, if for the time being I am ignoring this, I am considering only this. So, when V is positive, this I naught into exponential, the current now will be like this, I naught, I is equal to I naught times e to the power of q V by kt, because 1 becomes negligible, because exponential is value is V is positive. So, therefore, this value itself becomes very large. So, minus I naught can be neglected. Okay. When V is negative, you can see that exponential term becomes very small. So, therefore, I becomes equal to minus I naught, current is now negative. This current, forward current flows from P to N, reverse current this flows from N to P, that is why it is negative. Okay. So, that is why here we have okay, this diode current as well as this optically generated current. So, those two things are subtracted again, because in optically generated current which is also flowing from N to P, that gets subtract like this, you know, reverse current here. Okay. Okay, all right. Now, necessity of this I was explaining to you, because here there is these are the curves, forward and reverse bias curve. The equation just now what I have discussed, diode equation, this okay, that curve is applicable, that equation is applicable for this entire curve. Okay. And now, the second term becomes applicable only for this. You can see that whenever you know the GOP is 0, you can see in this equation this IOP is also made up of GOP. When GOP is 0, this complete term will get vanish, you have only this, that means the basic diode current exists here. So, GOP is 0 in this case, you will have only the reverse saturation current flowing here. Now, as you keep illuminating light, you know, when the entire diode is made to be illuminated with light source, as photons keeps increasing, we have different generation rate. Okay, optical generation rate, we already told generation rate is nothing but EHP generation per cubic centimeter per second. So, this in 1 second, in 1 cubic centimeter, how many electron hole pairs are generated, that is the unit for GOP. As light source, the photons, as number of photons, the illuminated onto the surface increases, this generation rate also keeps increases. So, G1 to G2, G2 to G3, it keeps increasing. So, you are going to get these kind of the current, these type of currents. So, current keeps increasing. This is nothing but for G1 this is the amount of current flowing, for G2 this is the amount of current flowing, and for G3. So, one observation is as illumination keeps increasing, the reverse current or total current also starts increasing. Okay. Now, here these quantities are important for us now, as we told here, when you make voltage as 0 here. So, that means when voltage is 0, so this is called as when do you make voltage as 0? You can make voltage as 0 by short circuiting it, right. When you want to make current as 0, you need to open circuit it. I hope you understand, you know these things, short circuit and open circuit conditions. These are mainly used in testing the circuits under short circuit condition, under open circuit condition. Okay. Now, here too, if you want to know these intersection points here, these curve intersection points here, or even if you consider one particular curve instead of taking 3 different curves here, if you want to know this, at what point this G2 curve is intersecting here, you have to make voltage as 0. So, that means, so you need to make voltage as 0 here, and you need to find out what is the current, a short circuit current need to be estimated. Similarly, this curve here will extend like this and moves all the way, and it follows this diode curve here like this. Okay. All these three curves will follow same thing here. So, this will extend like this and follow the diode curve in the forward bias. It is something like this. It may not intersect at same point, maybe at different points here. So, now you also need to estimate here, okay, at what voltage, okay, at what voltage these curves are intersecting here. So, now here to find out that, you must make current as 0. Okay, when you make current as 0, you can easily estimate what is the open circuit voltage. This is open circuit voltage. You need to find out this. So, these are the two things you need to find out from this to find the extreme ends of this curve here. To do that, we have here mathematical equation. First, let us find open circuit voltage. Okay, open circuit voltage is nothing but is equal to applied voltage for the condition I is equal to 0. There must not be any current here. Okay, current is going to be 0. As I told you already, for open circuit there doesn't current doesn't exist here. Open circuit current doesn't exist. I am trying to find out this extreme value here. So, now you can see that. How do you find that? You know already total current equation, which is given by this equation or this equation, which is both are equal in this case. Now, if you substitute okay, the current as 0 here, in this case, if you make this I am sorry, okay. Now, you can see this current here, if you make this current as 0 here, this you can make it as 0, the remaining terms you can see here. So, I naught in t power q, now V becomes VOC, because that is what we told here, by kT minus 1 minus IOP. Now, transfer this to other side and simplify it here. So, if you transfer this to other side and just add plus 1 to this, okay. So, IOP I naught this is IOP by I naught, if you transfer this here to other side, and IOP by I naught, this minus 1 becomes plus 1 here, and by V to the power of q VOC by kT. Take natural logarithm on both the sides. Natural log means it is log to the base e. Okay, that is what ln stands here. So, then you can see that this here will have a natural logarithm, and this e get eliminated, q VOC by kT, and transfer to the other side, it becomes kT by q times VOC. So, now you can see that I naught we already showed that this I naught reverse saturation current can be written as ITH. Okay, so, this I naught now it becomes ITH. So, now we know that optical current is now IOP is equal to QA GOP times LP plus Ln plus W. I naught equation also we know. Now, substitute these two things in this basic equation. So, IOP is here. So, this term, and ITH which is here. So, corresponding equations are here. IOP's equation is here, ITH equation is here. Substitute both equations in this VOC equation. Okay. So, what you get here? So, QA GOP times LP plus Ln plus W, in the denominator you will have this term, QA cancels here. You can see this is now onwards it is simplification, and you can see further what we have done here. So, in the numerator you retained with only GOP times LP plus Ln plus W. In the denominator you are left out with LP by tau p into Pn plus Ln by tau n into Np. Now, for symmetrical junctions, so far now our junction is not uniform, because either we prefer P plus N junction or P N plus diode. So, for a symmetrical junction it will be simply P N. So, under that conditions we can write P N will be equal to N P, and also the lifetime tau p will be equal to tau n. So, if you apply these changes to this equation, what it results? So, you can see numerator we have just same, we have not done any change here. So, this is LP plus Ln plus W. In the denominator you can see here tau p by, instead of LP by tau p, LP by tau n we written, we have replaced this with tau n because of this condition, and similarly NP Pn have replaced with NP, any one type of the semiconductors we have retained here, either N or P. So, this is NP. Now, here this NP is retained as it is. Now, you can see what can be taken as common factor from the denominator. So, you can see here this Np by tau n, Np by tau n is also here, this term, and Np by tau n is also here, that can be taken out as a common. So, you left out in the denominator with Lp plus Ln times GOP as it is, and now you can see here this Np by tau n, that can be called as thermal generation rate, because Np is nothing but it is electrons on p side, tau n is lifetime of electron, that tells you the generation rate, the thermal generation rate due to the heat, the within that, say the neutral p material, this is generated, this electrons on p side. So, that can be written as GTH, and in the numerator we can see here we have done some approximation here, we have done this approximation. We are going to neglect the generation rate at in the depletion region, because depletion region is very small. So, that rarely we see charge carriers within this depletion region, even though we explained 3 different parts in the p-n junction. So, if you neglect W here in this equation, if you neglect this, you are left out in the numerator with Lp plus Ln, and this cancel with the denominator Lp plus Ln, and you look at here, now we have only this equation. VOC, open circuit voltage, okay, is given by Kt by Q ln of GOP by GTH plus 1. Even here also the optical generation rate, and when you compare this with the thermal generation of electron hole pairs, since incident light is high, so this compared with the GTH, so this 1 becomes negligible here, okay. So that is a condition. So, when you neglect 1 from this equation, you have left out with final equation as open circuit voltage as Kt by Q into GOP by GTH. So, now go back to this equation. Now, what we estimated is this VOC is this equation is VOC, this intersection is given by Kt by Q times GOP by GTH, that is the equation, and that is what equation you are seeing here. Okay. So, that is the extreme end, and other side you already know, for short circuit ISC will be equal to I, for voltage should be made 0. Consider same equation once again, the equation, the basic equation that you have seen. Where is that? Yeah, this equation. If you make current as 0, you get minus. If you make current as 0 here, you will get I as minus I O, because applied voltage is 0. So, therefore, this complete term will get eliminated. So, this term will get eliminated. So, you are left out with I total current due to the elimination as optical current with negative sign. So, to avoid negative sign, you can introduce modulus here. So, I will be equal to minus IOP. You go back to this and you see that what you have calculated this. So, the short circuit current I now will be equal to minus IOP. Okay, so this is minus IOP. So, we identified extreme ends of this curves here. Okay, so I am interested in this 4th quadrant here. So, this can be called as forward bias is naturally the first quadrant. So, this is 2nd quadrant. There are no curves or characteristics falling into this region. There is a 3rd quadrant, which photo diodes are used, photo detectors are used here, and 4th quadrant you can see here solar cells are used here. Solar cells, its design and application, its characteristics is this. Okay. In all 3 quadrants you can see, in first quadrant and in 3rd quadrant, 2nd quadrant we ignore, we do not consider this, because there are no current and voltage values falling into this region. First and 3rd quadrant you can see here, if you look at a product of this V into I. So, basically based on this we can see whether it is a active device, active element or passive. Active means which provides, which source the circuit, passive means which consumes from the source. Whenever this product V and I, they are positive, it is a consuming device, V and I. You can look at in the first quadrant, V is positive, current is positive. So, VI product is positive. So, this is positive. So, therefore, it acts like a passive. So, whenever you apply forward bias, it consumes voltage from the source. It does not give any, it does not source the circuit. It draws the power from the circuit from the source. Even in 3rd quadrant you can observe here, I is this is voltage negative, current negative. So, this is quadrant first quadrant. Okay. This is already illustrated here, just you can look at here these quadrants. Okay, I will come back to this little later. Look at here, first quadrant, both are positive, VI positive, power is delivered to the device from external circuit. This is circuit. Third quadrant, you can see this is the third quadrant. Again, VI is positive, power is delivered to the device from external. Here also device, the photodiode act like a photodetector, which is again passive device. But look at the fourth quadrant here. VI is negative because voltage is positive, current is negative. The product VI is negative, so therefore, this power is delivered from the junction to the external circuit. Here, this region particularly acts like this will generate power. So, therefore, solar cells operate here because current is flowing from N to P. So, this is power is extracted from the device in this if you operate in this quadrant here. Okay. So, that's all from this for today's lecture. In next class we will continue with the same things what we have discussed in today's class. In conclusion, we have covered today's class with the derivation of this equation what we have showed, the VOC and ISC derivation, and finally we have connected that with the characteristics here. So, I will stop it at this point, and if there are any question I can take it offline. So, kindly you can ask me if you have any questions.